What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with another AHA demo. I put in scare quotes because this is actually stylized as an early version. So yes, we're going to listen to the early version of Solace, the final tune on their regular album Lifelines, and of course I've been going through the deluxe edition, and this is from the second disc. I did already react to differences, so this is the final demo / early version in this tandem that we've been going through recently. And it's fitting today because the remix, which I'll shoot after this, is a remix from the Lifelines album. So yes, it's a nice synchronization. In any case, yes, Solace, the album track, it has a very sweet sound to it. I'd say it has a bit of that orchestral pop feel because there's some strings which give it a real melodic texture. And yes, it's a very sweet and pleasant song in their larger catalog, so let's see how this early version sounds compared to the version that ended up on the proper album. This is AHA, the early version of Solace, a track from their 2002 album Lifelines.
Some sign of forgiveness, some form of relief is all that she asks for, is all that she needs. She waits for the day when she'll be more ready. Some time to be careful, some time left in these moments of silence. They won't last. They don't last. You're wasting the moment, biding your time. No one's got a hand standing in line. So something is over before it's begun. So close she could taste it. Now that it's gone. These moments of silence in you're hoping for solace. Well, just look around. Everyone here is standing in line.
Interesting. That one felt a bit more different than the album version than some of these demos slash early versions have been. Though especially in like the first minute, and then maybe again later in the track, which is to say, the middle period of the tune got closer to the album version in terms of the sound of the strings and the just overall atmosphere and configuration. But yeah, the opening section felt more minimal. The organ was really standing out to me. Morton's vocals over the course of the track, they have a bit more of a raw or workshopping type of feel, like he's again feeling out exactly how he might want to play the melodic delivery, even if like in terms of the actual melody, I feel like it's more or less, you know, identical to the album version. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not remembering correctly. I will say, when I went to shoot this reaction, one of the lines that came back to me as I prepared to start the video was that line of, what is it, no one got ahead while waiting in line? I think that is a very clever turn of phrase, and that line stood out to me during this early version. But yeah, essentially, like, it feels a bit more stripped down, a bit more minimal, and slightly differently configured. And indeed, like, even though the middle section was closer to what I'm thinking about the album version, you know, what I heard in my head as I went to react to this, at first the strings came in, it was like more of a singular violin sound, whereas my memory was like a richer, like fuller sort of synth string atmosphere. Now, eventually this early version did get into that mode where it sounded again closer and like, you know, more than one string, or like a fuller like chord string type of sound. But yeah, as I said, even once it started, the string ingredient, it seemed like more singular and solitary than I was remembering the album track. So in a way, this one felt distinctly different, and again, a bit more stripped down, a bit more raw, not just vocally, but in terms of the arrangement. But there was a phase in the middle of this early version where it was like, okay, so, you know, the basic sound of the final version was here in part. I guess my note about the distinction in the like early section is that it felt a little less like sweet and smooth compared to the album version, and a bit more quirky. I don't know if that's the right word, just a bit more like it was kind of marching to the beat of its own drums, so to speak. It was like, it just had this really unique and like, you know, like off center of like the smoothest sound of the album version. But as I said, once it got into that middle phase, then it was like, okay, like this is kind of what I was remembering from the album version. So yeah, I guess in some ways similar, but more different from the album version than some of the other demos have been. In any case, as I said, this is the last demo. I don't know in the moment exactly what will come next, but we'll keep going through Aha and all the various extras, and again, I have more live bootlegs waiting, so we'll go through some of those too. In any case, as I said, there is a remix coming in this batch as well, and it is from Lifelines, so it's a nice fit. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in a minute for the other one. Peace.